Okay, so there's just more weird things and another night with no sleep. It's so crazy how she'll just get up and just walk around. She'll come in, she'll throw herself down, come out here, throw herself down. She does these deep sighs all walking around. And it's so weird how I am like, while I'm asleep, my consciousness is aware, and it's like multitasking. Like I can be listening to her, I can be dreaming this dream that had to do with, oh man, it was so weird how it was like it was showing me something about this, but it's like I have these three different awarenesses happening at once. It's weird. Like, I don't know. There's so much stuff tripping me out. Like, since I've been home, I was doing those little, that, like I said, that little minute of bird noises in the morning because it's good for your mental health. And if you listen to songbirds, it raises your serotonin and dopamine or something, and it can make you not feel depressed. So I've been doing those little minute meditations of birds in the morning. And then when I got home, first I just noticed it was just felt really eerie. The things felt off of how it felt, like the temperatures and stuff, like everything felt weird, like nothing was in sync. And then it felt eerie, like everything felt super eerie. And then, I was noticing like, man, that's weird. I don't have any birds. Like, where's the birds? Like when I left, there was birds flying down and going around the yard, getting worms and stuff. I had those baby woodpeckers in the tree, but she moved those one night. So those have been gone for a while, thank God, because they were just like, oh my God, they were so dramatic, screaming all the time. Like, oh my gosh, those mother birds must not have a lot of anxiety because, a human having a baby screaming at them all day will give them great anxiety. But anyways, so, no sound. So even this, I've gone out and tried to, get it a few times to see, like, is there bird sounds? So this morning, she had me up early, of course. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and see, like, it should be the loudest, usually like 4 a.m, the birds will start. So I opened the door and went out there and did a video. There's just nothing. I think you could hear one weird bird. It wasn't a songbird. It was one of those, like, they do these like honking sounds or something. Some bird that did something like that. And then that was it. And I have, I've been watching the squirrels running around and playing and running through the trees and jumping like gymnasts and stuff. And then, since I've been back, I was like, where's all the squirrel action? Like, where's the squirrels? Like, what the fuck? And then this one keeps running down and getting stuff, because they spend all summer preparing for winter. So they're busy in the summer. They're out just gathering and gathering. So, like, what the fuck? So the one that keeps running down, he just looks ragged. Like, the trees look ragged. Like, everything looks ragged. Like, we're being poisoned. It's so weird how so many people just accept it. Like, well, that's what they have to do. And I saw another commercial, a really long one, for that thing I was talking about yesterday. They call it The Line. You can look it up. It's a commercial propaganda that they're pushing on us now of a new way of living. It showed way more. So it's a line. It's 37 square kilometers or square miles or something long. And so it is I don't know, 37 miles each direction. So it's like a square. They're really into these cube things. So just this rectangle, in every single person, I think they said they can fit 5 or 9 million or billion. I know that's a big stretch, but you can go look it up. I'm really bad with numbers, but it was, no matter what, it was extreme. Even fitting 5 million people in that area. And so the footage that it was showing was, well, we don't need cars anymore because you can get from any place in 20 minutes walking in this thing. And that it is like kind of like apartments with gardens on their patios, which, I'm sure that would be outlawed because that's way too hard on the planet. Don't be growing things. Don't be using water. It's so fucking ridiculous too. They're putting in all this 300 new houses here, which there hasn't been a lot of noise. So something's holding something up, I think. And but there's still a couple houses that were closer to being done. So those ones seem, but breaking ground on new ones, that seems to be something that is kind of stagnated a little bit or something. But this is what's weird. So when I get back, and the neighbor was outside and she's like, how was your trip? Blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, oh, well, the only thing you missed was, the power went out. They said it had to do because everybody was running their air conditioner. Well, okay, that's fucking retarded because we live in a poor place that most people don't even have an air conditioner, that we lived in a place that you didn't need an air conditioner because it was, you didn't have extreme heat. Like, I just don't think there's a lot of people who have a lot of air conditioners out here. Even when they started putting these units in, it is a heater, fan, air conditioner, but, and I have the fan on, but not everybody has these. They're expensive. And, they did that thing like to clean the air up out here. So they put them in people's houses. If you had an old, what are those things called? The things you put the fire in. Oh my God. Oh, the little smoky thing that you put the fire in so you can keep your house warm. The little black stove, the wood stove. God damn. So the wood stove, if you had an old one, they traded in, they gave you a new one, and they gave you one of these units to clean up the air out here, supposedly. So I would not be surprised at all if it's something electronically that they can control through that thing. Like, I swear to God, nothing would surprise me at all. I mean, I just heard somebody reading, it was Joe Rogan, somebody shared him reading the TikTok guidelines or, the rules, when you say that you will participate, what you're saying you will accept. It was a total invasion into everything that is on our Wi-Fi, everything that is on our phone, everything that is in our whole home. And not just your phone. They can go through your Wi-Fi and go into every single thing that's on that Wi-Fi and check into, I don't know what they're always looking for. They're monitoring us. They're looking for what we look for. They're, categorizing us. So, it's hard to know for sure all the stuff that they're looking for. But to me, it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is just so fucking ridiculous. But, let's see, I've already started with my skipping around. Yesterday, I know I skipped and didn't finish some of the stuff. But I swear, I just feel weird. I feel so out of it. And, so let me see where I was going with this. So the bird situation. Oh, yeah. Okay, so she had said that the electricity had gone off because everybody was using their air conditioners, right? And so I was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And didn't say anything else. Well, I said, did you hear what's happening in New York? And that's when, she turns like, oh, Kelly's speaking, don't listen, she's crazy. Oh my God. It's like, okay. So anyways, I was thinking, okay, so you're telling us that the houses that are out here, that I don't know how many have air conditioners, like, I don't know, 25%, 45% have air conditioners. I would imagine a lot of them are using fans and stuff. Like, this is really not a fancy, well, it wasn't until the what are they called? The developers decided to, profit off of their property over there and start just slamming houses, as many as they could cram into a small area, right? But how is it that these people don't think when they're sitting there telling me, oh, well, this would be good for our, it's going to make our houses go up. Oh, my Lord. And then, so you think that that is not going to be an added burden on the electric grid then? If we get 300 more houses, and these will all have air conditioner. These will all probably have it, the old-fashioned kind, where you have the air conditioning unit and then you have it all vented into your house. I'm sure it will have that with the heater and electricity. So you're telling me that the power grid can't handle the people it has, but we're going to add more in. And you're not even going to question that. That makes total sense to you, right? Like, that is the cutoff. It's like where people just accept, never question a thing, never look into it more. Somebody told me this, somebody told me that. Unless, of course, I speak. Then it's immediately, we must disprove, crazy lady. So that is, something I just became used to, is if I say something, that will get research. You will definitely research if I say something. But, anybody else who tells you something, just, it's the gospel. And it's so crazy because some of the stuff I say, you can't go out and find it. Some of the stuff I say, I just know it from my inner knowing. And which, by the way, so I saw some more people talking about August. And so there's a couple of, it seems like maybe 5 psychics that people are going in and listening to. So I don't know what they're all saying. This guy, I see this one girl and she's always sharing some girl who's on YouTube, something about honey, like her name's Honey D or something like that. And she is channeling and she's saying what's going to happen. The stuff I've heard that girl say sounds like the same stuff I'm saying. And so, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of us getting the same information. So I don't know. I haven't ever heard her. And then there's another girl who keeps sharing this other person, and she keeps saying, like, this person must be well-known psychic. I'm not sure, because she keeps talking about her, and then she's following her, and the stuff she's saying is happening. And so I guess she's saying also something about August. Then I saw this other guy who's talking about, he follows a couple of those psychics and a couple more. And he has a podcast and stuff. So he's passing on the information he's getting from these ones. So this one, and so he shared this clip of this guy. To me, the guy seemed kind of like a Baptist preacher. I don't know who he is. But he reminded me of a Baptist preacher. And he was saying in August, there's going to be something big that's going to happen. But all of them keep saying the same thing that I say, is that something is going to happen. It's going to be super horrible, super dramatic, and it's going to switch really quick. And it's going to take us in another direction, which is going to seem a lot more magical. So it's going to be like this big shift. It's going to be just like when a boomerang, like I loved how Juan said that about the boomerang, like it goes out and then it turns and comes back. It's going to be just like someone takes the timer in the game and flips it the other direction. They've run out of time. Their time is up. So their time is ending. When we're watching, as they're getting every little bit of drama into every little sand that falls. They're doing everything they can. And I really think it has to do with this luge thing, this energy that they sell from our fear and the other beings that, suckle off of our fear and anxiety. So it seems to me that that's what it has to do with right now, because it's mental. Like, why are we not in a war yet? Like, how long does it take Nancy to get over there? How many threats are they going to have on us? Like, they're burning down food factories, threatening us that there's going to be a famine. They're threatening that they're going to go in and take weapons from people. They've already started just, slamming into people's houses and taking them. They keep wording things like coming up with their own stuff. Like, I guess if you ask, I don't know, Siri, Alexa, or Google, one of them, that they tell you Kamala's president now. And they say, there's another one that says Trump is. Like, I don't know. Everything to me is just like glitching. To me, I feel like if you pay attention just in your general world, I feel like things are glitching right in front of us. Like I keep seeing glitches happen. So, and I keep feeling weird things in my body. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like what I imagine it would be like a hologram coming to the realization that it's not really here, and it starts like, like shorting out or something. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like you connect more to your higher self, which gives you a perspective of observation, but the player in the game starts glitching, like it's ready to move out of the game and into the new game. That's what it feels like to me. Like everything feels so much different than how I used to perceive how life and, me and stuff. Like I didn't think of it before as it all being a hologram. Like I thought we were born into these things and we actually were birthed in and stuff. The hologram thing makes the most sense to me. The projection of self into an experience that creates a reality for yourself so you can experience in the soulmates that you come in to go through the experience with. That all makes sense to me. And this whole thing about everything in this reality is like imploding, because even the people who start being like, oh, it's a flat earth, because I'm a flat earther, I for sure say, yeah, the earth is not a globe, we're not out spinning. The sun proves itself every day to me that this is not, that it's bullshit. A sun that is 1,000,000 miles away should be so far out there, no matter what, I should be able to see it. A tree should not block the sun. The sun should go over the top of me. It should be above me at some point of the day. If you go by their model of what they told us, the sun should be above me, above us all. At noon of our own day, it should be above us. Or, they used to use the sun as their clock. So now you're telling me that the sun somehow cannot get over these trees all day long. Now it's even lower. It was closer to the top of the trees when I left. Now it's way down. It's like another 12 feet down on the trees. So it's much lower. It can't get up over the trees. It goes around the trees. So it starts like right now, it comes up way over here on one side of my yard. Then it will go around like a horseshoe, and it will spin around all day around my trees, around like this. It will get to the other side. So if it was like a horseshoe, it will get to the other side. Then it will go way up. Then it will start to drop down, and then it will disappear behind a mountain. Like every day, it does the same damn thing. It goes around, doesn't go over, goes around. Then when it gets to this side, it goes up. When it gets to there, at 4:30 or 5, it should be going down. It should start going down. That's at sunset time. It shouldn't take this big dramatic jump up. Like I really would like to be able to go out and follow this path that the sun does. It makes no sense. And, definitely there's, I don't know if the sun, well, nothing is 1,000,000 miles away. I mean, the firmament isn't that big, and I think it's closing in. I think the sounds in the sky are so much louder now. I feel like it's closing in. And I think, and I'm not sure if it's these other psychics or something, but maybe it is the honey one or something. But I know I heard somebody say the same thing as I was saying about the ice wall is going to melt and the firmament is going to, explode, go away. Something's going to happen. But it's our energy. And I don't know if that's going to be the first thing. But I think that that is a part of what is happening in this evolution of mankind. I do think that everything that is holding us in place is going to go away. However it's going to go. And so these other people, I'm pretty sure, like, I can't keep them all straight. It's just because, like I said, I've all of a sudden started seeing so many more people that I had never seen before, seeing their information, tons. And so then they're talking about people that I don't know, like all these different psychics and stuff like that. So, but there was another one, and it was saying the same thing too as me, like when this dramatic thing happens, that something really big is going to draw everyone's attention. So everything is going to pull our attention to this dramatic thing that is going to be like this big, immediate kind of magical shift. It's just going to blow people's minds. Like people are just going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Which, oh my gosh, to me, that seems super exciting. Like, if all of a sudden the lights do go out and all of the emissions, all of the holograms stop, and all we can see is the energy. And, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that it's going to be something abrupt, something big, that we're getting closer and closer. There's so many more people who keep saying, man, do you guys feel it? Something big's coming. Do you feel it? Something big's coming. Like so many people are feeling that. So many people are feeling like something big's coming. And just like to me, okay, well, the birds are now gone. We're running out of stuff. We're running out of nature. People are dying right and left. Like, it is, it's time. It's time for this change to occur. And it's weird too, because I feel so cut off from this three-dimensional drama. Like I said, like to me, it is a frustration. It's just like, oh my God, how long can this go on? But I know a lot of people are just scared shitless. They're scared to death. Like, what's going to happen if they take my weapons? What's going to happen if we don't have a government? What's going to happen if we don't have doctors? What is going to happen if we don't have They just can't imagine the world without these things that were all put in place to control you and make money off of you. So people want to hold on to everything that this world has meant to them, and that they don't even realize, like, that is you surrendering your health, surrendering your sovereignty, surrendering your power all over to these power hungry, greedy motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about you. All they want to do is have power and money. That's all they care about. Which I'm seeing so many more people just like me who are saying, this girl did a funny one because she said, I just want a van down by the river. It's like, yeah, that's what we all want. We all just want a van and be able to go and be by water. We just want to be able to be out and travel. Nobody wants to just sit here and work to, as a slave, for their lives. Nobody wants that anymore. People are waking up to that. Even people who are still working are still waking up to it. They're just having the questions internally and trying to resolve that whole stigma, because we've been taught to be driven. We've been taught to go out and, get what we want and stuff like that. We haven't been taught the real ways of life in the world because, it's all destined. You can go out and fight and fight and fight for something. If it's not destiny, then it's not going to be yours. It is all predestined. It's what you came to experience, but they get you off your own experience and get you all trying to be in the same experience, fighting for the same thing, which, it is, it just is, it's a waste of our energy and a waste of our time. But see, like when they're selling our energy of stress and you're sitting there trying and trying to do this and trying to do that, and why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? But all of that frustration, they're selling that energy to these other beings. So like right now, is that what it's all about? Like they already know they're losing and lost and there's no hope, but they just keep this going of stressing people out. And, people are falling apart. People don't, there's a definite difference. There's a group of people who are like me, who see like this is inevitable. It has to happen. This is the change. This is what our souls came here to experience. This is a beautiful time. This is super exciting. and, can see that. Then there's other people who can see everything is falling apart. They're hyper aware of all this, but they're just confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know what it all means. They don't know what the future is. They're just kind of scared. And then you have another group who just has no idea that things are going on, that there's anything to worry about. They don't know that the food places are being burned down. They don't know that, like these giant farmer protests, which that one that I got live, saw yesterday live, it could have been the Dutch farmers. That was definitely something about the farmers. I could get that out of what they were saying, that I did hear farmers a few times. So, they must use the same word as we do. So it's weird too when you think about language and how they've used it to try and deceive us and to keep us divided so that we can't communicate with one another. But there is, and I was saying that I had a couple things that came into my head. But with the words, well, people are seeing through the whole thing with the words. People are starting to understand that the words were used to create spells, to bind us to certain ways of thinking and stuff, that it's all been under their control. And so, that's part of what people have to recognize is the words they use, the words used on us, the words, it is all... the words have power, have meaning. They set intentions, they manifest. And, we have just used them because we didn't realize, we didn't know. So words have all been used against us. And it's weird too, is because I keep seeing this thing about, and I remember when this happened, when we were in, I'm sure it was elementary school, and we had to figure out which hand we were, right or left. And right-handed people use the left-handed side of their brain, the logical side, and the left-handed people use the right side, the more creative side. So there's all these people saying that they told them that they had to switch to the right hand. They didn't want left-handed people. I don't remember that. I remember there being a couple of left-handed people in the class. And I wasn't, I don't remember sitting with them and teachers coming over, no, switch to the other hand. Like, I don't remember any of that. If it was happening, I just don't remember. And then, and then I remember them doing some and coming up with the ambidextrous people. Like, they could do both. And that's where I was like, well, I'm going to do both then. Like, I can teach myself to use the other hand. I can write with both hands if they can. That's how I started thinking. So I started just doing it for myself. Everything that I could, if I could drive with my right foot, I could drive with my left foot. If I can write with my right hand, I can write with my left hand. So I started doing that kind of stuff, which, it kind of makes me think, did that help me to be able to keep my mind open to the communication that was coming in, to seeing the truth in front of me? Because when they do get everybody into their logical mind, and then they use these brain waves and stuff to manipulate and indoctrinate with propaganda and create the illusion in people's minds, then, they know how to do it if they have access to this area of the brain. And they know like what theta waves, beta waves, whatever, what waves to use to get you into a relaxed state. It all has to do with stuff in music and stuff in movies too. And I know other people had to have noticed that in the last couple of years, how they started using these high frequencies in movies. The other day I was watching something and there started being such a high frequency in the movie that you could barely hear the people talking. And I was like, what in the hell? Why does this have to do with the movie? And then I started being like, well, is this somewhere else? Like, what in the hell is going on? This is so loud. It doesn't make any sense. So I paused it and it stopped. So it was coming from the TV. And I was like, are they just now putting high-pitched frequencies in to do something in our heads? Like, is it all about this zombie apocalypse that they're creating? Because they use frequencies. I mean, they're using frequencies against us right now. Like, they know how to use all of this stuff as weapons. And so, I don't know, but it definitely was coming out of the TV, and it was so unsettling. It made me feel like anxious. It made me feel like my head was going to blow up. It was so loud. So I went off of it, and I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I think that they're doing this stuff on purpose. I think that they are, just like I said, if you have no awareness what's happening with the frequency, like, and you think your hair is falling out. I mean, we know our hair is falling out, like right here. Like, these hairs are growing back in, but there's still this spot. Like, I'm going to keep doing the diatomaceous earth, because that clears out the toxins or whatever stuff that keeps us more sick, parasites and shit. And keep doing the biotin, but I don't really want to take any kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like when everything, kind of pops off, or everything starts going towards this big change that's going to happen, that there's going to be so much with technology. I've heard that all of the stuff that's being destroyed with nature, that when this big change occurs, these other beings that are more higher vibe are going to come and help us with technology, help us rebuild and heal nature and stuff like that. So, I certainly hope that is true, that there is going to be something to, like, save everything that is dying. Like I can't sit here and just give all this energy to, what's going to happen. I mean, like, so many of my trees are dead. These trees cost thousands of dollars to cut down. Like, and I'm sure they have a windstorm coming just around the corner. They've got the fires, they got the windstorm. They're going to do everything they can to destroy, this community, our homes, or whatever. Maybe that's why that guy stopped building. Maybe he got a little, they said, hey, probably don't keep building, because something with the developers, they get an inner shoe-in or something from these people, because they're a part of the corruption of this world. They're a part of the design of hurting us into certain areas and certain places and stuff. And they're part of the whole thing with the economy and the inflation, and how much they're going to make off a house and stuff. So they're a part of all of it. So I don't know, did they say, to these people, hold off on building for a while? We're going to go in and burn them down for a minute, or big windstorms coming. I don't know. But, if it were to go into, all of a sudden everything switches and we're just, still in this grind, it would be like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, it would be all of a sudden we have money, but we have to put the money into cutting down our trees and, more destruction on nature or something. Like, I don't know. I just hope, because it's so crazy too, because if it's a hologram, it should be easy, but that's what's always tripped me out. How is it a hologram and these people can interfere? But then it makes sense if a hologram is based on vibration and frequency, and they're interfering with that, and then telling us it's something else, and we're becoming weakened and not able to project ourselves as well into this reality because of the frequency, but we think it's a sickness because that's what they tell us. So I don't know. It's just weird how they can interfere with our holograms and our reality and stuff. It just really shows you that this really is like a Truman Show. But we do really project ourselves into it for the experience so that we can understand ourselves in all these different scenarios. So I don't know. It doesn't make as much sense to me when I think about, like, okay, so big switch happens, everything goes, and, people who have houses, and there's people who don't, and they start going out to get, because I know they're going to be giving away a lot of land. I just feel certain about that. There's going to be a huge thing about homesteading again. There's going to be, but a lot of people are really into the nomadic thing too, but that's in our inner DNA kind of situation. But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to, be given land, not just given like, oh, here, have hundreds of acres. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like, how much land do you need? How much can you take care of? Because it's all about this taking care of the land and it taking care of you. Like this symbiotic kind of relationship where we are in this like union with the planet. We are playing our part in taking care of it and it takes care of us. So it's not going to be like, oh, you want a couple hundred acres, so you can just have it to be yours. No, it would be whole like communes or communities like that are already like a group of people that want to build a community together. Like it could be extended families, like a huge amount of people. But I still think there's going to be like a certain allotment. Like, okay, well, we figure most people can handle 3 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres to take care of themselves and their families. And, maybe they're going to give a lot of those plots, like a big area, to people or something. But I feel so certain there's going to be homesteading again, because they could have never owned the land. And it's not about that. It's about working with the land to take care of yourself, and the land takes care of you. It's this relationship in nature. It's all about nature and natural, and that's what they're trying to move us out of, into this AI world. And like the line apartments that or line communities that they're talking about, it looks space age when you look at it. And I didn't send it to anybody who's into this science world, because to them it would look like, oh wow, super cool, man, and that's so much better for the planet, and we'll all just live there. They just don't understand. This is about control. This is about stealing your life. This is about stealing your energy. It's about controlling you 100%. And they don't have control over us if we're out there growing our own food and taking care of ourselves. And that's what it's going to lead into. That's where we're going. All of this absurdity is to show us where they were taking us. They were taking us into a very confined, controlled world. And they want all the control. And they just want us to, who knows, what the plan was. Because they're going to make all the jobs AI. They sure weren't going to let us be free. So it would be all on, taking your role as a lab rat. Like, you have to take your role as a lab rat, and you follow the guidelines, and you let them test on this and that, and then you get a place to live. Otherwise, you're out in the desert. Well, I'll stay out in the desert. Thank you. I'll figure it out for myself. And I know there's tons of people who feel that the same way. But I know it's not going to go that far, because I do as well feel like we are close. I feel like that things are about to go. I've felt like that for a long time. Like I've said, I'm shocked how they've kept this going. But I feel like everything is about to be going. And once it goes, it is going to be super dramatic. I do think there is going to be like a bunch of death, a bunch of transition. It's going to be like boom, explosive. And one thing too is, one of these psychics had said, which I've already said, is that those people are not going to be going forward. These corrupt individuals are not going to be going forward when this big thing happens. That it will be taking all of them out. So there will be some kind of mass death, mass transition, mass exit, exit stage right. All of these souls will leave suddenly because their time's up. They came here to wake us up, to show us the truth, to play the bad guy so that we could wake up, because we're going into this huge transition. And so all of us who are here for that, that's going to push us forward. It's going to just elevate the whole situation. All of us who are speaking out about this stuff, it's going to make that be what people want to hear about. They're not going to want to hear about this other stuff anymore. because whatever's going to happen is going to change their perspective. It's going to switch something on inside of them that is going to make them yearn or search for something deeper, some other kind of information, something that is going to try and help them make sense of stuff. So it's going to be very dramatic when everything goes down. I feel certain about that. That's one thing I 100% agree with all of those other psychics. I think anybody who is in touch with their higher self would be getting that same message. You know, be prepared, something big's about to happen, and it's going to be way different than you think. It's going to be unexpected, and it's going to be hard to wrap your head around, and it's going to be very dramatic, you know. And to me, like I said, it's like the waiting for that puff in the eye is way worse. Like, I'd rather just happen and take on whatever's coming, you know. I know that for those of us who are here for, we can handle it. You know, everybody who's going to go through it is here for it in some sense of the way. Some of it is to wake them up and teach them. And it's going to be the hardest on those people that have been asleep for the longest. That is going to be super hard on them. It's going to be super confusing. My one daughter is already... She's just like, I am so confused over what is happening. What is going on in the world? I'm so confused. You know, it's all of that. All of the people who are just like, wait a minute. Everything is just messed up. Everything is so crazy. I'm so confused. What's happening? This isn't what I thought. That's going to be just like huge. And then those people will be very deep into... I think what we could just call into the shadow work. They're going to have to face their ego, because their ego, like I said, for this whole time is what has been holding them back from seeing the truth. And so it's going to be right into ego work. Then, you know, all of the people who have been seen and do know, it's going to be, you know, out of ego of like, I told you so, you shouldn't listen to me. People who do that, that's not the energy that you want to be carrying through this. The energy is going to come to where it's going to be, basically like a shoulder for people, like to help people understand what's happening, to talk about your experience and how to get through it. And, because it's all of us coming together is how we get through this. And it is breaking down the ego, because the ego creates separation and division and a hierarchy. So everyone's going to be faced with that. Kind of like, are you going to run around telling everybody, I told you so, I told you so? Or are you going to have empathy and compassion and remember, like, fuck, I was asleep. I know. I remember waking up. I remember how shocking this all is. It's very shocking. And it's also very exciting. So we got to get these people excited for the future, because that is where we're headed, is to a really exciting time. And I do think that there is going to be other beings that are going to be involved, helping us to understand technology. And it's part of why we have to have all of this come to the surface about accepting one another. Because, you know, when you can't accept people who look similar to you, how are you going to accept all these other beings? Like, people don't even understand. Like, I believe octopuses and squids and all of that underwater life is beings having a reality. They're living a life, you know, and we go in and we kill them and we disrupt their lives. And this is all about this being in a sync with nature, being, you know, playing our part, like being a part of the river, you know. We have to all play that part. We can't be an energy in the river that is constantly trying to turn the river the other direction. We have to be a part of the flow. So, you know, hopefully that makes sense. Like I never know if the stuff I'm saying makes sense. So anyways, hopefully that made sense. But I do think that it is getting close. Now it's August 2nd. And, you know, those other psychic people, the one guy who I heard talking, the preacher kind of guy, he was saying that August is going to be a bunch of stuff is going to just be really being shown to us and really blowing shit up. And then September, something is going to happen really big. So August, they keep saying, is going to be really, really big. But it's leading us up into this really big thing. So hopefully, Nancy is starting everything. And it makes sense when you think about it, because they had to use some of the most evil politicians in these roles so that we would know. Like, I didn't even fucking know who Nancy Pelosi was before 2020. Like, I didn't know who the hell she was. I didn't know who a lot of these people were. So they've been shown to us. We've seen who they are, their character and stuff. And so it makes sense that, if she gets blown up, it makes total sense, doesn't it? Because she's probably not even really there. She probably was gone a long time ago. So, I think that for sure. I think that was definitely in 2021 after that swearing in situation. And we were all, I know I was watching, expecting there to be like helicopters dropping, and like I was expecting big drama. And when there wasn't, and then I saw some footage of some people being escorted and stuff. And then she was one of them. And then right after that, the Trumpster started saying, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Is that really her under there? I don't think that's her under there. And I was like, oh, well, I guess there's Nancy's gone now, isn't she? Because it seems that every time when he starts saying that, it's because I think their tribunal is completed and that they are dealt with. So, I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff that will be coming to the surface. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to be released from the deading system and to, start getting out there in the world. I think there's going to be so many people. Like, as soon as there is money in people's accounts, if that's how it's going to go, I don't know how it's going to go. But as soon as people have money, I think a lot of people are going to buy campers and, want to start getting out and traveling. And so, but I want to as well. But if I have to get a boat or whatever, I can travel around on the water. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for shit to finally start fucking going. There's enough people saying it. I'm just going to stay positive, and hopefully everybody else just keep putting that energy out. Like, we can't be in fear of what's to come. We have to know we will get through it. We have to allow it to come in. We have to not block it. We have to not be in fear and scared of what's going to happen. We got to pull that energy in and allow it to play out. Know that we'll get through it, and it's what needs to happen. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.